warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to our program, the Ambassador Talk. Indonesia has a long political history with Africa, but it reached momentum in 1955 during the Asian African Conference. But after that, I can say we relatively slowed down and silent on this continent. So only when President Jokowi administration seems that Indonesia tried to focus to Africa and with a rapid approach to Africa. But yet we need to understand what is the African expect and vision and what the collaboration that Africa willing from Indonesia. That is what we call why we established this talk show. We call it the Ambassador Talk. Okay. The Ambassador Talk is a program initiated by our company, Kareem International, to aim to amplifying these voices from the African ambassador who reside in Indonesia.
Okay, thank you very much. First, I would like to thank you for giving this opportunity for me. Indonesia and Ethiopia, if we see the bilateral relationship between the two countries started in 1950s.
1950s.
Yeah, and at that time there was a Asia-Africa conference, and at that conference a delegation came from Ethiopia. They have contributed a lot in that conference because Ethiopia is the only country that has not been colonized at that time.
In Africa.
In Africa, and Ethiopia has been struggling to fight with colonizers in any part of Africa. So Ethiopia contributed a lot. So in that conference, Ethiopia really participated actively. Since then, the bilateral relationship has been growing, and Indonesia opened its embassy in Addis Ababa in 1964.
1964, yes.
1964. And our former King Haile Selassie visited Indonesia in 1968. In 1968, yeah. And definitely we have taken a very long period of time to open our embassy. We only opened our embassy in Jakarta in Indonesia in 2016. Although we are late, Indonesia and Ethiopia have been collaborating. They are the founding member of non-aligned movement. Again, in so many multilateral cooperation, they are assisting one another. If we see Indonesia, especially Southeast Asia and Africa, Ethiopia, we do have so many similarities and differences. Southeast Asian countries, including Indonesia, the economy has been growing in a very fast rate, and there are a lot of experiences in Southeast Asia that Ethiopia or Africa can learn from. So that's the reason why definitely Ethiopia established its embassy here in Indonesia. We are focusing on promotion of investment.
From Indonesia?
Yeah, investment, trade, tourism, peoples-to-people relationship. You know, unless and otherwise you build trust between the people of the two countries, you cannot talk of investment and
yes.
Tourism and trade.
Yes.
So what we focus now is peoples-to-peoples relationship in order to develop trust between the two countries, so that the people of the two countries can work together, establish partnership with Indonesian counterparts. So this is our focus. Being agriculturist and also being the leader of higher education. Most of the time when I was there, I had a very good experience. And definitely nowadays the economy of Ethiopia is rising.
One of the highest in the world.
One of the highest in the world. The government is highly committed.
Yes.
So there are a lot of incentives for investors who are coming there. There is a cheap electricity, one of the cheapest in the world.
One of the cheapest. And
labor
not yet a new dam coming.
Yeah, because still we are building the largest dam in Africa and the seventh largest dam in the world. So we use a clean energy. Labor is very cheap. So because of this, I think with Indonesia, there are a lot of areas that we collaborate in order to benefit our society. Well, in Indonesia, as I said now, you are in the process of transforming the economy. There are so many knowledge for agro-processing in agro-processing areas. In that area, we can learn from the experience of
from
Indonesia. We have the land and we have the agricultural products, but we have to add value in order
of the crops and FLO project.
So in Indonesia there are a lot of know-how and knowledge. I have just traveled throughout the country and I have seen small enterprises agro-processing different.
In Indonesia?
Yeah, in Indonesia. So definitely we can exchange knowledge and definitely we can develop a win-win situation so that both our societies can benefit from our collaboration. That is what we are focusing, especially here in Southeast Asia. Our embassy is not only accredited to Indonesia, but also we are accredited to Singapore, Malaysia, Cambodia, and also Maldives and Pakistan.
Maldives from here?
Yeah, so it's
and
we cover a long area. So in that aspect, just we made Indonesia the center because it is the largest economy in Southeast Asia, and it's a G20 member, and also I think the 16th largest economy in the world. As a result, we stationed here and we decided to operate from Jakarta.
Yes, I need to elaborate on the agricultures. You expect, let's say, that there will be collaboration with Indonesian agribusiness. From what I see, actually the Indonesian agribusiness, let's say on total area owned by the farmer, Ethiopia is more than Indonesia. One farmer in Ethiopia can earn more land compared to Indonesian. If we see the internet and we go to Africa, one farmer can have let's say the tractor to harvesting, something like that. I mean, mechanization is already there. Indonesia not yet actually, but what beer produce may be on the streamline. May I ask you, what is before you coming to Jakarta on your expectation, business to business collaboration in agricultures, and what did you find? In what sectors of agricultures can Indonesian and Ethiopian collaborate with others?
You see, the setup of the two countries is completely different.
Completely different. The crop is completely different.
No, not the crop.
Not the crop.
Not the crop. But you see, in Ethiopia, Ethiopia has a different agroecology. We have more than 32 different agroecologies. So
I see.
We have highlands, temperate type of climate. We have Mediterranean type of climate.
Yes.
Tropical, subtropical, and desert.
Yes.
So, for example, we can grow peach, apple, temperate crops there.
And so also the flowers.
Yeah, the flowers. It's diverse.
It's diverse.
Now, when you go to Ethiopia, there are highlands.
Yes.
very highlands and medium altitude areas. Most of the population lives in the highland and medium altitude areas.
I see.
So the deserts and the lowlands
Yeah.
are not densely populated.
Oh.
So now you find ample land in the lowlands and in the desert areas. Of course, as I said, we do have big rivers, more than 12 big rivers, transboundary rivers. They cross those lowlands and the deserts. So those areas are not occupied. So we do have abundant land in those areas.
Abandoned land.
Yeah,
I
in
see.
the highlands, it's densely populated. But in Indonesia, it's not like that.
Not like that.
Yeah, so that is a difference. Otherwise, if you see, for example, Indonesia and Ethiopia are also biodiversity hotspot.
Yes.
So we do have diverse fauna and flora, and Ethiopia, many crops originated in Ethiopia.
Even coffee is from Ethiopia.
Coffee Arabica, wheat, barley, and oil seeds and oil crops. They are originated in Ethiopia. Because of this, there is a genetic diversity. So we can grow anything that can be grown elsewhere. So this is, but as I said, we are not good in adding the values.
Adding value.
Yeah, agro processing.
You still, Ethiopia still export as commodity. Is that what?
Yeah, we export the raw products.
Raw products.
Yeah, and we wish to add value so that we can benefit, our farmers can benefit out of that. In that area, I think Indonesians can come in.
I see.
And they can involve
Collaboration, investment.
Yeah, investment, collaboration.
Joint ventures.
They have the knowledge, they have the capital.
I see.
So we do have the resources there. So if we join hands, definitely we can benefit our society. That is one area. The other one is, as I said, there are ample lands that can be cultivable, and also irrigation is also possible. In those areas also Indonesians can come in the area of agriculture, and they can definitely collaborate and establish a partnership. In case of, for example, productivity, when I try to assess the productivity of crops, the productivity is much better in Indonesia.
But let me ask Shiskha first. Shiskha, this is, you are from Paramadina postgraduate diplomacy. What we see from His Excellency and from Admasu is very, I think it's very question to the academics. First embassy is in Southeast Asia in Indonesia, and we just understand that focus the diplomacy is approaching to the culture, to the agricultures, not so political. What do you see about it on the view of multi-track diplomacy, of the Indonesian diplomacy to Africa?
Yeah, thank you, Pak Isnandar. Excellency, it's very enlightening to hear your view on Indonesia. The fact that Indonesia is already opened the embassy, I think in 1964.
1964.
I think it's a very strong political connections, I think. But as Excellency already explained, that is only in 2015, I think, that the Ethiopia opened the embassy here because of these new directions, I think, from the Indonesia, try to open more market to Africa. So I think the multi-track, come back to the multi-track diplomacy, I think is explained that the old practice and definition of diplomacy, I think is not suitable again to become one approach of the countries, that is not enough for just official or political connections, I think. That's why in this new revolution of technology, digital, when people can connect just a minute between a community. There's also one thing that why these people to people relation become an asset to then encourage more further cooperation in trade, I think. And also I also impressed by these developments of agriculture connections, I think. If you see Indonesia now also how the cultures of drinking coffee has become a lifestyle, I think, for the youth in Indonesia. And I think the idea of finding the origin, the many things about Variety Arabic coffee, I think it can open a new vision, inspiration, how to visit Ethiopia. I think the origin of the coffee from there, I think with this virtual thing, I think it's quite interesting to see how more collaborations in agriculture could see forward, I think.
So we can say that in Ethiopian is very open for the international business to, let's say, invest in Ethiopia, right? So that's why the factor that why the Ethiopian economic accelerating.
Yeah, Ethiopia is very open. One is the government has a very high commitment.
I see.
So we envision to be a middle-income country in 2030.
2030.
Because of that, the government has already set incentives to attract different companies there. So there are industrial parks. There is one window service. You don't have to go here and there to get permit. And
how many days to get permit?
It depends on the sector.
But not long.
But not long. And there are incentives, and as I said, cheap electricity, very cheap labor also, and also there are markets. Definitely
112.
Yeah, the population is the second populous country in Africa, and Ethiopia is located in a very strategic position.
And it is effective to the, let's say, garment and fashion apparel industry to produce. I say this is the shoe from the champion.
Yeah. You see, this the garment, textile, and also, as I said, cotton production.
Cotton production.
Really, we produce a very high quality cotton fiber, and we do have ample land in the lowland.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why we envision to be a manufacturing hub for textile in Ethiopia. So still we are producing, and as I said, we have ample land. We are looking also for the investors to produce quality cotton there. Definitely, these are also some of the interesting areas.
I see. Excellency, the most important question for me, coffee.
Coffee, yeah.
You see, you just mentioned about coffee. Let I give the most important situation. What is the different situation of the on the agricultures, on the cultures between Ethiopian and Indonesian on the economic of coffee? We see both Indonesia and Ethiopia we are producing, but yet we sell. Let's say we just supply as a green bean.
Yeah.
When we see the World Barista Championships, the winner is never be from our country.
Yeah.
It's always from the, let's say, European, Japan, Taiwan, Korea. What do you see? What you are from agriculture? I checked the World Barista Champions last 5 years. It's only one Indonesian on the number 4, and after that, nothing. No, also from Vietnam, no also from coffee producers. What do you see? What is and what we can do together with this coffee?
Well, in the area of coffee, definitely I know that Indonesia is also growing coffee Arabica and coffee Robusta also. Ethiopia also, as I said, it's the home place of coffee. But really we should add value instead of exporting
Added value.
yeah, the raw beans. Adding value is very important, and making different forms of coffee. That area is in that area we can collaborate, because sometimes if we have similar problems, if we join hands,
Yeah, that's the
definitely,
question.
yeah, we will be very strong.
Yeah.
That Indonesians are much better than the Ethiopian condition, I think, in agro processing. In the coffee also. In the coffee, I think I have seen small and medium enterprises like pack coffee and other things. I have seen
they established the coffee shops, their own
coffee shops and other things. There are a lot of things that we can learn from the Indonesian. Now they have the Indonesian. They have knowledge in packing something like that. So we can take that knowledge from
Indonesia.
Indonesians. The Indonesians can come in and help us in the in the packaging, in the transportation, and the logistic and other issues. So there are always rooms for those investment.
Bu Shiskha, what about the university? The ambassador says that there are youth club. What about the do you see any student exchange or the university collaboration with Africa?
I think it's there, right? But
it's there
I think
already.
the numbers of activity and commitment, I think, need to be improved more. I think what Excellency already explained about the fact that there is now a youth association between Indonesia and Ethiopia. I think it's excellent progress to how this people to people connection is need to develop. I think the university education, I think, is the key. How then to kind of accelerate this idea, the future. I think listening to the conversation and discussions, I think we can emphasize the good futures of Indonesia and Ethiopia youth cooperation, especially in idea of this technology. I think, for example, me personally has come up with the generation without this technology. I think I'm always fascinating about how fast they learn, how fast they can adopt, and how fast they can communicate by their own language, I think. But the fact that there is an interest and support, I think, from the government, I think it could be a nice futures.
Of the youth.
Yeah, for the youth. I think university is already there. The next question would be to what extent we can invest together on this field. I think there is a lot of fields already explored, from the agriculture, the packaging stuff, sectors, and those of things. Also listening to your idea, but if we drink coffee, people also want to experience the storyline behind the coffee. I think it's a very fascinating to know that, for example, this coffee is originated from Ethiopia, and then you have the story of traveling the coffee beans, and it become an added value, I think.
The progress of that plan, so that definitely we can collaborate. And the Ethiopian Airlines, you see, we have now we have a cargo service. Almost to 85 destinations. Now we have modified our cargo in such a way that we can also carry the vaccines. We can transport.
They modified the cargo for the vaccines.
For the vaccine development.
So you're expecting this will be sent from Indonesia?
No.
From Indonesia or other parts of the world. You see, and these are some of the issues that we are looking.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Bu Shiskha, last one. I think bahasa Indonesia itu kode keras ya. What about the university? What about your university, Paramadina, for collaboration with Ethiopia?
Yeah, definitely. I would like to follow up on that. We are very eager to kind of learn a lot from you, but to take point about this strong support from Ethiopia, I think with the co-chairs, I think
Co-chairs.
Indonesia and Ethiopia share the same commitment with this world peace. I think is one of the constitution mandate, and we are committed in peacekeeping force. I think,
Yeah.
especially with the women. I think our Minister of Foreign Affairs, Bu Retno, is very committed on women involvement in peacekeeping force. I think this is one of our points, and also about the Indonesia strategic role in make sure that this vaccine diplomacy to multilateralism is not falling into nationalistic distributions of the vaccines, because it's a common a global
Good,
problem issue. To what extent that those conflict on the vaccines could not destroy the economic recovery that all countries kind of needs, because I think the economy cannot rebound quickly if problem with these vaccines is not settled down. And I think strong support from Ethiopia on the way Indonesia try to kind of manage and negotiate on the vaccines distributions. I think one of the key points, I think that the world looking forward.
Okay, Excellency, I think thank you very much. You are the first guest of this program, the Ambassador Talk.
Thank you very
I believe we will need to open more and more connection with Indonesia and Ethiopia and Africa. Thank you very much, Excellency Bu Shiskha.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Iskandar.
Thank you.